President Joe Biden is working to ensure a peaceful transfer of power to President-elect Donald Trump, despite previously labeling him an existential threat to democracy. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre emphasized during a press briefing that Biden's commitment to a smooth transition demonstrates leadership and respect for the will of the American people.
This is related but separate from just the trip itself. It's been more than 2 weeks since the election. This was an election that elected a man that President Biden has repeatedly referred to as an existential threat. So why is it that the American people have not heard President Biden talk about this threat since the election?
Because there was an election and the American people spoke. The will of the American people is very clear, right? And so the president is now in a situation where we have to deal with a peaceful transfer of power. We have to respect the will of the American people. And that's what you have been seeing from this president, trying to lead by example to make sure that that happens. And that's what the American people deserve. That's what the president deserves. And that's what I think he was very clear about in Rose Garden when he delivered his remarks 2 days after the election. And he was very honest. He said, these, and again, I'm not quoting him exactly, but these were not the results that we had wanted, right? And that's just being honest. They weren't. But we are now in a position where he believes he has to lead by example and show what a peaceful transfer of power looks like. And so that's what you're seeing from this president. And, to the points that you made, I've been asked about existential threat. I've been asked about threat to our democracy. The president is always going to be honest with the American people. He feels like he is obligated. What he said still stands. But we are now in a different place. We are. The American people spoke. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power. That's what this president wants.
There was an election, and the American people spoke, Jean-Pierre said. The president believes he must lead by example and show what a peaceful transfer of power looks like. The tone marks a significant shift from the rhetoric before Election Day, when Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris warned of the dangers they believed the Trump presidency posed to democratic norms. Jean-Pierre clarified that Biden's concerns about Trump's potential impact on democracy remain unchanged but acknowledged. We are now in a different place. Biden and Trump met at the White House last week, their first meeting since the election, where Biden committed to facilitating a smooth transition. The meeting contrasted sharply with 2020, when Trump refused to concede to Biden and did not invite him to the White House after his election victory. Political observers noted the striking differences in Biden's and Trump's approaches to post-election transitions. Trump's exit in 2021 was marred by his absence at Biden's inauguration, the first such absence in over 150 years, following the Capitol riots on January 6. Addressing reporters' questions about the administration's stance on Trump, Jean-Pierre reiterated that Biden's concerns still stand, but highlighted the necessity of honoring democratic processes. She added, "The American people deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what this president wants." The administration's focus on reconciliation and process underscores its intent to model unity during a politically divided moment in U.S. history.